Well, good morning. It's after midnight here in Oz, and the title for the video today is The Home Stretch. I was asked if I planned to move here. I have no intention of making this permanent. It's very expensive in Oz, and there is no way I could survive on my current income. It would not even pay for a month's rent. I could barely make rent in Florida, which would not even leave me enough for food. That's why I'm on the list for subsidized housing, but I still have over a year to go before that is available. Anyway, I've made it this far, about halfway through my trip, and people are asking what I've done and what I've seen in Australia. Please bear in mind that this was not a sightseeing trip for me. My intent was meeting people. Perhaps the only sightseeing I've done so far was my first morning in Canberra when Peter took me all over that area showing me the sights. We even went up on the mountain into the tower where I got a bird's eye view of the entire area from every angle. I doubt we could do that in Melbourne, which is very, very spread out. I'm not sure what the last 2 weeks hold for me, but it will be more about the people I will get to talk with, sharing our vision and experience of life on a planet in transition. I'm sorry to disappoint those who wanted more. We will see what happens on the home stretch. Yes, by the way, it's cold in here this morning. It's in the 40s Fahrenheit temperature time. And folks, for me, coming from Florida, that's cold, and there's no heat in my hotel room. I had them over to check it the other day, and they verified that there's something wrong. It just doesn't. When I turn the heater on, it doesn't come on, and that's been true my entire trip here. They offered to give me a different room, but I already had my computer and everything set up, and I told them it would be too much hassle to have to take everything down and move to another place in the hotel, which is like a motel actually. The rooms are all accessible from outside, not from inside, which to me is the mark of a motel. Anyway, as I said, for those that have wanted to know if I wanted to move to Australia, perhaps it might be better, further north where it's warmer. Of course, they even go across the Tropic of what is it, the Tropic of Capricorn, I believe, where it gets into the tropics in the northern part of Australia, and of course that would be even warmer than Florida. But that's not where I am, and I would, if I were to live here, I would choose Melbourne, but it's not cheap to live here. Everything is more expensive. In fact, it's more expensive in Canberra even than Melbourne, from what Peter tells me, and I take his word for that. Peter has been probably my strongest support through the entire trip so far, and I'm very much appreciative of that help that he's given me and reaching out to me. He even went back and checked old emails to find things that people had written to me, because I normally don't go back and look at old videos. And there were messages on old videos that he brought to my attention of people potentially offering places to stay, which is true of a lady that I talked to named Dell, and I will be actually catching a taxi from the hotel. She cannot pick me up. She has other commitments, and I need to be out of here by 10 o'clock in the morning. So I'm actually taking a taxi northwest from where I am now to Dell's home, and I guess there's a lot of people living there, but she promised I'd at least have a mattress to sleep on, and I'd have a private place where I could make my videos. So I'm looking forward to that option, and apparently there's several people that live in that place, and they want to meet me and talk, and I'm hoping for some really good discussion about things that are happening in this world. As I've said in the blurb, there are a lot of changes going on, folks, and uh, they don't get reported, I don't believe, on the mainstream news, the good changes that are happening. And those are some of the things that I want to be able to get back to focusing upon so that we can all have the sense that the spiritual awakening is occurring and that things are actually moving in a direction that brings more honesty and more openness and more truthfulness, uh, that brings about the changes that those of us that want to live in a better world and want a fairer, more just society will actually occur in our lifetime. Of course, it's a process like everything else. It doesn't happen by clicking our fingers, but there has to be some decisive change that occurs that becomes very obvious. And to me, that can only mean the removal of some of the people in the cabal and in the higher spiritual echelons that have dominated the mindset and the societal structures for such a long time, including the monetary structure. There's lots of things that have to change. Uh, so I'm looking forward anyway to meeting with Dell and her friends there. I don't know how many there are there, but they have a house full. And they do, as I said, they do promise me a place to sleep. It may not be as private as in a hotel, but she did say I would have a place that I could make my videos, and that would be that's doable in the location where they're at. So I don't know exactly what the setup is going to be. I won't know till well, it's today. I was going to say tomorrow because it's still night here for me, but I will know when I get over there. And then there's one other person who has uh, offered help if as I need it. So I'm playing it by ear on this home stretch. I'm going to be taking things as they come, and I'm grateful for again for all of the generous support that I've received from around the world. Donations, from uh, $10 Australian, which is $7 and something in U.S. currency, uh, up to $150 was the largest, and then there were two other $100 donations. So I have gotten some help from people, and I very much appreciate that. Most of them are smaller donations, which is to be expected, but every little bit helps and makes it a little bit easier for me to do the things that I hope to be able to do the rest of the time I spend here in Oz. So again, keep me in your prayers. I am longing actually uh, to get back to Florida peacefully and safely once the journey here ends. But it hasn't ended yet. There's 2 more weeks, and I hope to meet a lot of new people and connect with connect with people of the heart that aren't going to abandon me and aren't going to judge me. Um, anyway, that's all. I have lots of things that are going through my head right now, but that's all I think I'm going to say for this video. Thank you once again for listening, and we'll see you again in about 24 hours. Namaste.